Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back watching Frieren episode 2. The first one was really good. I actually enjoyed it so much so that the video that I ended up editing was like 30 minutes or so, and I'm gonna try to not be so long-winded this time around. I just had a lot to say. It was the first episode. There was a lot to kind of take in, so I'll try to keep my responses a little shorter. But if you don't mind my more thought out and long form responses, let me know, because I could just be in my own head thinking that this is a problem, and people are probably like, "What are you talking about? It's not an issue." So the only way I'll know is if you guys tell me. So let me know if you don't have a problem with the way I've been doing it, then that's fine. If I have been being a little long winded, then I'll try to shorten it a bit. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so she just didn't put enough mana and enough strength into it. So close range is not an issue for her, but long range is quite a problem. Although, like, how often are you probably going to be doing like long range magical sniping in this? Because that rock was far. It wasn't close. That was really far away. So I wonder. Man, like, I know it's probably not an easy life to live, but I don't think I would mind, having a life where you just go outside, you got a pond with some fish in it, and you just catch yourself some food when you want it, as opposed to spending money at a grocery store and stuff. Because, like, in a lot of these fantasy worlds and stuff, like, people buy stuff from the markets and stuff, but only, like, when they really need to, or if they're like living in the city. But everybody on the outskirts and stuff, most of those markets are getting their food and everything from these people who are sustaining off the land. I feel like it just feels so much more peaceful. Oh my god, they just murdered that snowman for no reason, just minding his business. I saw him tossing that broccoli on her plate. They're a cute little family. I really like these little montages that they do in this show, where they're just showing kind of time passing. There's been a few of them in there already thus far. Um, they're very stylish and relaxing to watch. Man, time flies in this show, dude. It's been 4 years. That little montage was 4 years, and he hanging on to a thread. She's studying too hard. It's not a good thing, she says. Interesting. Called it. Called it. I knew it. I knew that man was barely holding on. Oh man. Yeah, and I said that as a joke in my little this little video that I put out. Also, let me know. I'm doing like an anime sins kind of series thing. I released a short earlier today. So if you guys get a chance, go check it out and let me know what you think about it. Because I was gonna start with this series for it. I think it's pretty funny. They're very short, like a minute long or whatever, but just pointing out some funny stuff in the show. But one of the things I pointed out is that she said she was going to complete the book in 4 to 6 years, knowing that he didn't have that much time left. And that was a joke, but apparently it wasn't. So she's actually trying to hone her skills before he dies. I'm not sure specifically why, but that seems to be her goal. Does he regret the way he lived? It seems like it, man. Because he said that his friend died, and he would have saved a lot more people than he had if he was still alive. So maybe he regrets, you know, living longer than him because he thought he might have done more good. Wow, so she was gonna jump because I guess she felt like she had nothing else to live for. He has always feared dying and leaving me alone. Wow, she really had an impact on him. Oh, is that why she said when she asked her about magic, she said, like it's fine because she doesn't care what skills she learns. She just happens to be talented in magic. All right, well, the title of this episode makes a lot more sense. I mean, I kind of got it before, but now we can contextualize it. Man, deciphering this book must be like extremely tedious. But once again, like time doesn't really work the same for her like it works for everybody else. So like for us, in our feeble human lives, sitting there for hours and hours trying to do that is just like, it's taking forever. But for her, it's this is probably like super fast for her. He just wanted her to take care of the little one. Fern? Yeah, I think her name was Fern. He just wanted her to. That's what it was. He asked her to take her on as an apprentice, and she said no. So his backup plan was finding some way to get her to stay and train her anyway. Oh, so that was his plan. He wanted her to complete her training before he passed, so she wouldn't get in Frieren's way. That's pretty smart, man. I'd never even considered that. Holy crap. And she pulled it off. Well, seemingly pulled it off. She's growing, man. Like I never thought that she was like this emotionless person. Like you could tell that she had emotions and stuff, but like now that she's kind of experiencing the death of people that are close to her and understanding the limitations of human life, like she seems to really be a lot more concerned, with the way that they spend it. Because I think she still regrets the fact that she didn't, do what she could for the main hero. He really looked up to him, man. You can tell that despite the fact that, he had his own thing going on and he was his own person and he knew he didn't have really the capacity to do what he did the way that he did it, you can tell he always admired him for it. Whenever he talks about him, whenever he was in his presence, even when he was at his funeral, he always wore a smile when he was thinking about him. So, nah, she did it. Good shit, Fern. She's still calling him corrupt priest. To his dying breath, that man was a trickster, and he just very interesting character, man. Very interesting priest character in a fantasy anime. Pretty interesting, man. So she got paid in magic, folk magic, she said, and it produces a spell that produces tea. So there's like agricultural magic and stuff too. Dude, I really want to know about the magic system in this world. Like, are there spells that are like specifically unique to people depending on what type of job or profession you're in? Just like black magic, black. I was about to say black smith magic is what I was trying to say, but I said I was gonna say black magic. I meant blacksmith magic or something like that. I think I would be doing that too. Like they could like look how obscure these spells are. To get rust off of a bronze statue to turn sweet grape sour. Like really, they're so. It's just like it's very weird, and it's like I can just do this. I just know how to do this. I'd be collecting all the spells too, actually. Okay, so there are no herbalist spells. We know that much at least. Wow. That's pretty crazy, man. So he saved that village back in the day. He was really like truly a hero, which is kind of nice to see that it wasn't just like in that city or whatever. Like his influence is like all over the land. And hear her being mean again as usual. It's what he deserves. It's Himmel's fault for wanting to show off. Nah. And I love see this is the thing. This is my favorite. I love this when it comes to characters in a show like this, or like any show, for example. Even if they're really powerful and really strong, I love characters that also have glaring flaws too. They're not just, oh, this person is the embodiment of pure good and he's just all good and everything's great about him, or this person's all evil and everything's bad about him. It keeps things interesting for sure. Oh, she remembered that about him. Wow. So wait, the lady said she's an herbalist, but she can't use magic or anything, but a spell that sprouts wildflowers or whatever seems like that does seem like a spell that an herbalist would be able to use. But then again, the lady's not a mage though, so there's that too. I would assume you would still have to have the capacity to use magic, so maybe there are spells she just doesn't have any. Eat rats? I thought they were squirrels. I like how she just stashed them. Like, yeah, I'm gonna steal these. Notice how she said until recently. She said until recently. That was what she said decades ago. So she's like, yeah, they were seeing them around here recently. Like, not recently for you, maybe. Oh my god, I fucking love turtles. I like turtles, frogs, and birds. Those are like my favorite three animals. I know that's just like random information I'm dropping on y'all right now, but I swear to God, I'd have like a giant turtle familiar if I lived in this world. 6 months. I think Fern might be getting tired of looking for him. I feel like she thinks that this is pointless. I think Fern thinks that this is kind of a waste of time. And Frieren's being very stubborn about it. because I think she really wants to do this for Himmel, even though she said she's doing it for herself. And that may be true. Like maybe she has her own selfish reasons she wants to do this. But I think she feels like it's important, to honor him because she didn't get to know him like she felt she should have.
フリーレン様は多くの人を救える力を持った魔法使いです。ありもしないもののために時間を使うだなんてあってはならない。
Mm. See, that's an interesting perspective. Perspective, that's the perfect word when it comes to this show and the way that characters interact with each other because from Fern's perspective, she's like, I'm a human. Time is precious. We don't have all the time in the world. Like she's wasting time doing this. But for Frieren, what she doesn't understand is this time that's passed, this 6 months was nothing for her. Like it was the equivalent of like her spending a week here. Now I wish I knew the real calculation of like how time is calculated for them versus regular people. But this time is nothing.
フリーレンさんにとっては違うのでしょうね。だけど彼女の方が私たちよりもずっと大人だから、その気持ちを素直に伝えればきっと分かってくれるはずよ。
Okay, so now we're getting into the situation where communication is going to really be important. Uh, you need to convey and communicate with her your thoughts about this. You guys are traveling companions now. It's not just her. So it's important that you really sit her down and let her know what you're thinking and why. Which is oh god, if we can get rid of the stupid anime tropes where characters don't communicate with each others to create artificial problems, oh my god, man. This is going to be my favorite relaxation show if they can just learn how to properly communicate and do that consistently throughout the show.
追いかけてみようか。
That's a useful spell. Holy crap. That's a very useful spell. He just like caught you slipping, bitch, got your seeds. I'm out of here.
気持ち悪い。
How'd she go call them gross? She is so mean, man. I know I've said that several times now. Yeah, she right. She did live very apathetically. I don't know. Maybe she just like genuinely just can't relate to others. Like I don't know. There seems to be this sense of kind of isolation with her, where even when she's involved with other people, she just can't really figure out what's going on with them or how to properly connect.
私の集めた魔法を褒めてくれたバカがいた。それだけだよ。くだらない理由ですね。そうだね。
That's a silly reason. But it's good enough. So she's collecting spells because Himmel used to compliment her for the spells that she collected. The thick plottins.
入れば何でもよかったのです。別に魔法じゃなくたって。でも魔法を選んだ。
And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Like, yeah, you're right. It could have been anything, but you didn't choose anything. You chose magic. You could have chosen stuck to anything else, but magic is what you picked, even though it was something that you weren't particularly interested in. So I think that makes a difference, and that's why Frieren knows that you guys are the same because it was probably pretty much the same for her.
蒼月草が見られるなんてね。本当に綺麗。ありがとうね、フリーレンさん。
Look how proud of herself she she is so proud of herself. Oh man, this show is so wholesome.
忘れるところだった。よし。
あら、可愛らしい。
Man, that was a really good episode. This show, man, it's hard to explain because there's not a lot going on. Like, there's not action or a bunch of drama, and just like it's just a good story, and it's people driven. Like it's character driven story, that doesn't need any distractions like crazy action set pieces and all this other stuff. Like, they're doing this world building and they're building these characters up in such a way that it's like that's all you need. And when you have a story that can stand on its own like that, man, it's pretty special. And I'm liking this so far. 2 episodes in, and this show might end up being a contender for. I didn't think I didn't think there were going to be any more shows to come out this year that can compete with stuff like Oshinoko and Zom 100, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, wonderful episode, very good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit up the comment section down below to answer the questions that I asked earlier. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.